Well, we're back to the grind of plowing up fields. Seems like that's pretty much all we've done. But from what I hear from the locals, that the farmer that ran this farm before us, apparently he hadn't plowed the fields in years. So it seems like it was due to be done, and we will definitely benefit from taking this time to do this job. And looking at this field, and I'm seeing that it's pretty uniquely shaped, and I'm thinking about cutting it off and kind of tackling the field in halves, doing the bottom half here and then doing the top half. We'll still leave it as one whole field with respect to our planting, but I think it might be just easier to plow the field in halves as opposed to trying to deal with all these curves and things. We've got our hired helper back, and she's working over there on field 19, putting down manure still. So it looks like she's probably going to be done here in a couple days. She might be finished tomorrow, late day tomorrow, or mid the next day. Let's take a look at our forecast. So it looks like she's probably going to be done on Monday. I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. We might go ahead and wow, we have got quite the climb. We're going to have to probably tackle this part of the field from a different angle next time we come around. But she'll probably be done her fertilizing with manure on Monday, probably Monday afternoon, now that I think about it a little bit. I think we're going to be plowing probably up until Tuesday, maybe Wednesday at the latest, and then we'll be able to, once she's done her manure work, we'll be able to set her off on cultivating the fields behind us. And we'll probably see if we can't bring another worker in to finish up the plowing on the other fields, so that we can kind of get prepared for our seeding efforts. We've got some seed we need to bring in from the shop, and we've got to do that. We're going to need to pick up a trailer. And we're probably going to need to pick up a telehandler, simply because if we're cultivating and seeding, we're going to need another implement to move bales around once it comes time for baling. You can see our only grass field that we've got from last year is just ahead of us. And it's not that big of a field either, so that's why we're going to put that field across the road there in grass. So we've got some equipment purchases we need to make. We've got to buy some seed. We basically got to check our seeders out and get them all prepped and ready to go. So we probably are going to need to be bringing in a second hired hand here soon to finish up our plowing. Wow, this area of the country has got some massive rolling hills. It's definitely going to be a challenge to do some plowing and maybe even do some harvesting with some of these hills, to make sure that we don't roll our tipper, or worse, we don't have an accident with our harvester. So we're just going to kick this up in high gear and see how much of this we can just hammer out in the next bit. So we'll be right back. So I thought I'd take a break from the speed plowing and just take a reference to this field's incline or slope, and it's pretty significant. When I was doing some plowing, I realized that this field has got some crazy angles to it, and so I decided to not go up and down as far as the incline goes, and run across the field. But I'm kind of not sure if in real life that's what you would do, or if you would basically take the speed hit and crawl up the hill, and then go down the hill in a plowing action, or basically in a field work action, and just throttle back and kind of keep it under control so it doesn't overspeed the implement. We're actually kind of leveling off now. The area to the left or to the right there that we've already plowed was pretty much a lot more a fairly significant downgrade, as you can kind of see with the tree line there. The cut just before the cut that we just did, it really drops off and plummets. It's like a roller coaster ride, if you will. So that's one reason why we're kind of showing every field on map that we own with respect to the plowing. I wasn't going to do that. I was thinking about this episode of basically showing a little bit of plowing and then come back like 2 days later, or show a little bit of plowing each game day, and make this episode like a 3 game day episode. But I kind of really want to show off these fields and show you the wonderful shapes that they are. You know, they're very flowing around things. You know, like this one. For some reason, the farmers before us had elected to keep that tree there, keep that hedge line that runs into the field, and not take that out to kind of square the field off any. So I thought that was interesting. There's other rather interesting shapes on the fields that we've already kind of seen, and you know, if we went and used Courseplay and hired workers to do some of this work or all of this field work, a lot of this lovely organic flow, I just call it organic, because it just feels like it flows so well around the existing terrain and whatnot. Let's bring the HUD back so we can bring up the map and kind of see field 14 and see its shape. We've got our hired helper down there working on field 19 with manure. It's a fairly flat field, but it does have a few utility poles through it, and you know, field 31 is rather interesting because you could kind of combine, maybe we'll have to see when we get over there, you might be able to combine fields 31, 32, and 33 into a larger field that's kind of rectangular shaped, but it may be that there's some type of geography or physical barrier between those fields that would impede that merger. So I just wanted to bring you back for that and make a couple of those comments, and we'll be right back with more of our speed plowing. Hope you enjoy. So some days you ever feel like a complete noob? Well, that was me today when I realized that the recording that I just did was total mute. Usually I fire up OBS and do a check 1 2 before I start recording to see the mic indicator move, and apparently I didn't do that and recorded a whole segment completely silent. Um, but anyway, we got that issue figured out, and I was over here getting our hired hand, sending her off to pick up a load of manure, and I looked over and I saw this beautiful sight, and I just wanted to stop and just record a little segment here, apologizing for that little flub up with the mute mic, and just take a look at this lighthouse spinning light with the beam, the sunset here on a nice, cool spring morning. The lights blinking off of the port towers there. I have to say, this map, every time I come into this map, I am just awestruck at so many of the detail elements that you just don't get until you spend several hours playing on a map. So, just thought I would show that to you all. Here we got our bushes. I can only imagine what the view must look like from atop this hill. In fact, let's just go ahead and run up there and take a look at it real quick. So there's the field that we are, I think that's the field we're fertilizing. Look at that. Look at that absolute stunning image. And of course the satellite dish over there, that's where our manure pit is. That's where our tractor is headed off to. It's an absolutely stunning map. So that is the field that we are currently fertilizing. And the field that's just behind it is another one of our fields, and that field has got a major hill on it. And we're going to see that tomorrow when we get around to applying that. Well, I just wanted to show this to you guys, and we'll be right back next game day. Alright guys, well, welcome back. It is day 7. It's actually Sunday, but we're going to go ahead and work. Typically we would want to take Sunday off, but we've got some field work we need to get done, and while it's still early in the spring, I do have a little bit of a concern that we don't want to get too far behind. The goal for today is to finish plowing up this field and basically see where we are at the end of that process. Our fertilize helper is down there on field 34, and the plan is that when she's done fertilizing that field, we're going to have to take her off of that, simply because the tractor that she's using, I don't think is going to be able to fertilize field 31, because field 31 has some pretty big inclines going on in it, and I don't think that tractor has the gumption to drag that manure spreader full of manure up the inclines. So it's only got 250 horsepower, and this particular tractor is sitting at 350. So we're going to switch at that point and let this tractor here do the fertilizing on the last field, and we're going to go ahead and pick up our cultivator with the 6R, and we're going to cultivate fields 17 and 18, which is our 2 potato fields, and then we're going to go ahead and go up to the shop, lease up a potato planter, and buy a couple pallets of potatoes, or at least 1 pallet of potatoes to start with, and bring it down here and plant fields 17 and 18 in potatoes. And we're going to see if we can't get all that done today. If so, that would be great. If not, well, then we'll just flow on into day 8, and we'll get it done then. So I thought I'd bring on the GPS, because this field has got some. It's fairly flat, and we can easily do GPS and plow some straight lines in here and hammer this field out. So that's what we're going to go do, and we'll be back in a little bit. Well, guys, we're just coming out from lunch, and we got a call from our helper who had let us know that they were running low on fuel. And we called over to the shop to see if our fuel trailer we ordered a while back had come in. And it turns out it was in on the truck. It actually came in on a trailer, I think, yesterday. So they were going to call us tomorrow and have us pick it up, but since we were kind of low on fuel, they said they would go ahead and let us get it today. So I told our worker to go ahead and just come on over here after she was done fertilizing that field. And she dropped the fertilizer spreader, or the manure spreader, over there by field 31. So when we're done plowing, when we're done plowing, we will pick that manure spreader up and with our bigger tractor and give it a go. Looks like here's our stuff, so let's take a look at this thing. So we've got this is our fuel service trailer. So we got a yellow Thunder Creek. We've got the fuel pump here in the front. We got some work lights. We got some tools and some equipment here in the back to do some maintenance should we need to. Went ahead and picked up some pallet forks, and we bought ourselves a pallet of diesel fuel. We can get pallets of diesel fuel for a lot less money than having it delivered. So we went ahead and did that. So we're going to just temporarily store our bucket over here out of the way. The shop said it was okay. So let's see if we can't get this fuel in this trailer and then get the fuel in the tractor. Obviously we can't fuel the tractor up from the pallet because we don't have a pump. What we can do is put this in our trailer. Let's go ahead and back up and hitch up to our trailer. Alright, looks like we've already got this thing full of fuel. So we've got a little bit of fuel left in our pallet. What we're going to do is we're probably going to put this pallet in the bed of our truck and take it over the farm where we will unload it later. So let's get out here and let's see here. Let's remove that. So we can bring in our we have a stuck pallet. Let's try to come at it from a different side. Here. Looks like it's on there a bit better. There we go. Let's go over here and strap this down. Let's go ahead and put our railing back up. And we're going to put our pallet forks over here because we are going to need them when we fill up our potato seeder. And we're going to back up to our fuel tank. Alright, turned on our fuel pump. Get the fuel flowing. You can see our fuel gauge there going down. So once that stops dropping, we'll turn off our fuel pump. All right. So we have ourselves a full trailer. Let's go ahead and take this down the farm. Oops. And we're going to store this probably over at the arable farm. And then we'll just get back to plowing. I think I missed my turn. It's okay, we'll just loop around. And I have to remember to drive on the proper side of the road. As I said, that's a hard habit to get out of when you're used to driving on the other side. There's our sheds. In here. Somehow one of our gates got closed, so we'll just open that up. And we'll park this right here for now. And run over here. I think our tractor and our plow's over here. There it is. We'll just get back in the field and finish plowing this field on up. Alright, so we're just about done this field, and then we're going to take this plow over and just drop it off over at the farmyard there, and then we're going to go and pick up our manure spreader and go ahead and start. We'll have our worker come over and bring the John Deere R over, the 6R, and we'll get her started on the manure spreading with this tractor. And we're actually going to pick up the cultivator and go ahead and start cultivating our potato fields. So when we get back, we'll be working our potato fields. All right, we went ahead and picked up our cultivator. If you remember, this is a cultivator that we had with the starting equipment from the previous owners. So we went ahead and just kept that, and we're going to cultivate this field up. So you might be wondering why we have a manure texture on this particular field after we've plowed it, because you thought we were putting manure down and then plowing. We actually did do that. We put manure down, then we plowed the field, but then when we looked at the field, as far as the fertilization status, it was showing that the field was unfertilized. So for some reason, the field did not take the fertilizer or the manure, and then plowing it did not give us a second bonus. So we just brought in another load of fertilizer and put it on both of these fields, which did then register. So I don't really know why it didn't register the first time, but it definitely did register the second time that we put the manure down. And the act of cultivating this field should give us the second manure bonus. So we should still have this field at 2 fertilization levels, if you will, by the time we're done doing this cultivation. So let's just pull up the map and verify that we are getting 2 cultivation levels, or fertilization levels, off of this. You can see it is definitely changing, so we are definitely getting that. Oops. Get our really bright LED lights, or I don't know what these lights are. These are halogen. Is that maybe what they are, the blue lights? And we're going to cultivate both of these fields tonight, and then tomorrow morning it's going to be potato planting season. We're going to go ahead and plant our potatoes up here on these 2 fields while we continue to put manure down on field 31 with our larger 8530. And once he's done putting manure down on that, he's just going to come and pick up the plow and start plowing up fields 34 and 31. And then our field prep is done. Then we'll have all our fields with manure, all our fields with that have been plowed at that point. And then we can start with our cultivation and our planting in full force. So we're just going to kind of cut the corner off here to make it a bit easier to do up and down runs. Looks like our hired helper is needing to drive off and get herself another load of manure. We'll just continue this job, and like I said, we'll be back once we're pretty much done this, and that's what we're going to do for the rest of the night. And thank you guys for watching another wonderful episode of Churn Farms. Every time I play this map, I feel I just fall in love with it even more. It's got some very, very beautiful landscaping. The lay of the land is very nice. I like the way the roads just meander around. The roads have some banks and some angles and some tilts and leans to them. So when you go around a turn, the road kind of leans to a side. One, to help with runoff, rain runoff, and two, I mean, it's just the way roads are. When you go around a turn, sometimes the roads have positive camber, which means that you lean into the hill, and other times the roads have a negative camber, where you feel like you're leaning away from the turn. And negative camber never feels very good at any type of a speed, so you'll tend to slow down. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. We are just about done our long-running single-player challenge over on Old Man Farms, and we should actually finish that up around on Sunday. This video should be airing on a Friday, and the following Sunday we should be broadcasting our very last stream of the Old Guy Farms single player challenge. The goal we have is $6 million. Let's see if we can earn that. And then basically the plan is to hopefully have Churn Farms releasing 3 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I obviously reserve the right to change up that schedule on an as needed basis, but the plan will be to have regular Monday, Wednesday, and Friday releases. So until next time, guys, happy farming.